Welcome back to another jam session. We are here, not quite a jam pod, but I guess it is a jam pod because we are live. I got some special guests here with me today. Let me let y'all introduce yourselves. Bishop, how you doing today, man?
Hey, I am doing pretty good. I am super excited to talk tonight. Of course, spoiler free as much as we can. But I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's good to see y'all.
Yeah, Alicia, how you doing today? Miss Illustrious
Hey,
Gaming.
I'm good. I'm excited too. I feel like I'm not as into the Marvel fandom as much as y'all are, but I'm still excited to talk about everything that I saw and how it plays into the Marvel universe. So I'm excited. Mhm.
Alrighty. So Bishop knows this already. It is a casual to y'all. I don't want y'all to feel like y'all gotta, you know me. But Bishop knows this already. I'm throwing you a curveball. I always like to do like a segment where I always just want to ask how's life because first and foremost, all of this other stuff is secondary, and my friends and people I
True.
have on and how what's going on with them is more important. So start off with you, run it back to you. E, how is life?
Life is good, honestly. Recently promoted or whatever. So, I've just been enjoying my promoted life. But yeah, life is good. I'm in my new apartment, my room with all these paintings, not giving too much away. But life is good. I'm in a good place. And I'm happy to be here with y'all, my two favorites.
Hey,
So yeah.
hey, love to hear. B, how you doing, bro? Bishop, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I think, it's that time of year where we have some amazing things that are going on. Like, we've got movies, we've got announcements. San Diego Comic-Con's going on right now. My feed is blowing up with stuff from that. Y'all know me, I'm a huge toy collector, so I'm excited seeing everything that's coming out in the fall and how broke I'm going to be because I'm going to be spending way too much money on toys. And I'm excited. I'm making some cos plans for New York Comic Con, so I'm kind of planning all of that stuff out right now. Yeah, excited.
Yeah, man. We're gonna be at New York Comic Con for sure this year. I'm going to. I mean, I guess that's kind of a spoiler for me in a sense. I'm gonna try to in real life stream that. I don't know how good that's gonna go because at the Javits Center in New York City, it's very bad Wi-Fi. It's very bad bandwidth. So we'll see how that all works out. But nonetheless, we'll get some content there. You will see me. You will see Bishop, Alicia.
I'll be there.
Oh, you going? You got your tickets?
I am.
Yeah.
I didn't get my tickets yet, but I'm going. Me and my friends are going. I
I
am
believe it when I see
going.
it. I
I
believe it
am
when I.
going. I promise. I'm going.
All right, so I gotta throw this segment out to. I have to shout out Agents of Fandom. They have this segment called "What You Watching." But you guys know me. I nerd out to everything. I mean, I read, I play games. I mean, I watch movies, I create stuff. So I want to ask you guys, what are you watching? Or excuse me, what are you nerding out to? I'll start back with you, Bishop. Kind of throw it right back to you. What are you watching? Or excuse me, what are you nerding out to?
So I actually just finished Daredevil Born Again.
Oh,
I had kind of slept on it for a little bit, so I picked that up, finished it, and blown away. Loved it. Cinematography in that was absolutely phenomenal. Just loved what they did with that. Loved the expansion of what the Netflix series had brought, and then what Disney Plus brought back to it. Was great to see so many people back in that. Loved it. But the other thing I'm super nerding out on right now is I'm replaying one of my favorites, which is Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. So I'm going back through and I'm playing that. I'm trying to 100% it again, probably for the I don't know 20th time. But going back through and playing that, and just I broke out the Wii U just so that I could play it again. It's great.
that was gonna be my follow-up question really quickly was did you get the Switch 2 to play it on the GameCube thing?
No, not yet. So I'm
Not
I'm
yet.
holding
Okay.
off on the Switch 2 for right now because I was already halfway through before the Switch 2 announcement, so I've been kind of slow playing it, but now I'm ramping up because I'm getting pretty close to the end. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah. All right,
Mhm.
E. What about you, Miss Illustrious Gaming? What are you nerding out to? She's a look. Besides Marvel, I know it's gonna be Marvel Rivals. What else are you nerding out to?
That's really funny because I was gonna say Marvel Rivals, for sure, because I have been nerding out on that for
Oh
a
yeah.
while. And honestly, Jam left me. Like we were playing together every day, and then he just disappeared. So it's
I mean, this is the same stream. These are the
fine.
same platforms. Everybody that watches
It's
my
true.
game streams is they know I left you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they do. You left me for Monster Hunters, but it's okay. I get it.
I just played the sad violin thing or the sad trombone sound just now for y'all.
Yeah.
But I went and purchased Life is Strange because I don't know like if y'all remember that game, but I don't know. I wanted to try like a different variation of it. So I saw like Life is Strange. It's not two, but it's like I don't know, a different one. So I've been nerding out on that recently. I really enjoyed the gameplay and it's definitely more like upgraded graphics wise from the first Life is Strange. So I've been doing that. And then also book wise, I've actually been reading like a lot of Rebecca Yarros. So I'm reading Iron Flame right now. So if you're into dragons, Game of Thrones slash Hunger Games put together in one, that's kind of her vibe right now. So I've been nerding out on those things.
Those
recently.
things.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. That sounds cool. You know I'm a book person, so you got to send me some of those
I got
books. Are
you.
they like young
It's a big
adult
book.
books or not
It
they
definitely is giving like young adult vibes for sure.
okay, okay.
Books, yeah.
But it's a fantasy book for sure though. Like
It is. It's like a
yeah, send me that.
romantasy. A romantasy.
A romance. You might have lost me. You might have lost me. I don't know. I'm a
It's
sappy
so
guy.
good.
Maybe,
It's so
maybe.
good.
I'm a sappy guy. All right. Everybody knows what we're here to talk about. It's in the title screen. So I just wanted to let y'all get familiarized with some of my good friends. Actually, I mean, I talk to these guys at least once a week. I would say. Alicia, it's been a
Absolutely.
while. Alicia, it's been a little while. We go off and
Yeah.
on, but usually it's usually about once a week. We talk, and I think that's really rare to have friendships like that in nowadays. You know what I mean? It's hard, especially as we're all adults here. So
For sure.
but we are here to talk about. I mean, we all merged out. We got the background. We all here. We're here to talk about Fantastic Four. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You here? Sue? You here? We were supposed
Yeah,
to
There
have a
too.
fourth
I
guy.
couldn't see in Marvel Rivals.
Oh look, you here?
I'm alerted Sue Storm.
All right, you ain't had to.
I'm
shit
just
on.
saying.
You ain't had to do that. Yeah, but we're here to talk about Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four first steps. No spoilers. We are here to talk spoiler free because we want you. I mean, it just came out technically today, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday was
Yeah.
opening night, so we want to give people like some time to watch the movie. Which is usually Marvel's code anyway. They usually have the spoiler ban lifted on for Sunday or Monday, so
Yeah.
give you guys some time. So I want to go with our first impressions. I will start right back at you, Alicia. What was your first impression leaving the theaters? And even maybe now after you've had some time to like sit with it.
Honestly, I thought it was really, really good. But if I'm being honest, in the beginning, I did feel like it was a little slow in the beginning. But I realized why it was so slow is like building up for the story, you know. But I thought it was really good. I thought just I don't read the comics like y'all do, but I have seen the pictures of the comics because of you, Jam. So I feel like it was definitely like true to like what I've seen picture wise in the comics, which I thought was really cool. And I feel like it's different from what I've seen from previous Fantastic Fours. Like I felt like this was like a true like comic book vibe to the movie, which I liked a lot. So
Yeah. I mean, you hit it on the money with the comic book stuff. It definitely felt like a comic book movie. And I think we're getting to a safe space for that now. Like, we don't have to have too much realism in things. It could just be comic booky, campy, wacky. And I'm all for that. I mean, as a comic book person. And the first thing you said, run it back, because I literally had it in my head and I knew what I wanted to say.
I said I think it was like a little slow in the beginning because
That's
it was
right. So
building to the story. Yeah.
I 100% agree. That is actually one of my issues, and I don't like to. You guys know me. I'm more of a person going to the movie. I want to enjoy the movie. I'm not trying to nitpick things like that.
Mhm.
But one of my issues with the movie was the pacing.
Yeah.
I felt like it could have also first impression. This is again my first impression as well. But to agree with you, I think the pacing for me in that beginning, while I love the whole montage and like I guess that's a spoiler. Damn, right. That's a little bit of a spoiler. But
You broke the rule.
I broke my own rule. We're not doing spoilers. We're not doing no more spoilers. But
That's
yes,
the last one.
that's the last one. Shadow, we appreciate you popping in, by the way, brother. Appreciate you popping in. W collaboration with the team here. Yeah, if I'm being honest, the pacing overall, like you said in the beginning of that, for me was really, really slow. And I do understand like it was trying to ramp up the story, but I think the pacing overall was one of my biggest issues with this movie.
Yeah.
But I agree with everything you said about the comic book stuff. Bishop, you first impressions, man. What did you? I mean,
Hey, I mean, you saw me. I walked out with a big grin on my face, man.
Oh. Yeah.
I was so happy. And I think we talked about this a little bit before. I definitely want to see it again. It's one of those ones that where like I want to see it again. I want to see it again in IMAX. I want that experience
Mhm.
a second time because I think my initial impression is I was expecting something different, not more, but different. And that is where like the entire movie, I think I'm waiting for that more to show up and it didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, it's this. And so
Mhm.
that's where like I kind of reset my brain and I was like, I'm having fun with this. I agree that the beginning was a little slow to get there. There were some pacing issues, I think throughout, but I mean, just I was blown away with the Futuro style that was there. I loved the just the world building that we got in such a short period of time to really feel like okay we've settled into this and of course I mean it felt like we were just looking into Jack Kirby's soul, so I was right there.
oh, I just got chills, chat. Like I literally just got warm. Um, Man, that was breathtaking. Beautifully worded, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta give him a round of
Yeah, no,
applause really quickly.
seriously.
That was beautifully worded. Um, you hit it on the money with that Jack Kirby line. The way why you had to word it like that? He just had to end it beautifully, right? Like with that Jack Kirby. I don't even know what to say with that. Like, visually is something I really want to talk about. That this movie, I'm kind of jumping around on my little plots here, but with my first impression, that was something that caught me was visually how great this movie was. But something that you said, Josh Bishop, that really makes me think totally different. And I mentioned this in my Letterbox review that I had expectations with this movie. I wanted this movie for me to be groundbreaking. I wanted this to be the Marvel movie that for me moved the needle. It pushed everything forward. I needed that like I don't want to say Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame, but I needed that. I don't want to say Black Panther because that's different. That's like culturally different. But I needed something like that, like maybe Thor Ragnarok or something, just something
Sure.
that was an event level film. And while I do
Mhm.
feel like this was that, and I feel like my expectations were met for the most part, the way you worded it, Josh, really like got to me, and is that I don't want to put my expectations to where this takes away from how great this film was.
Hmm.
I don't want my expectations to take away from how great this film was. And so for me, this was still a great film. Leaving and thinking
Absolutely.
about it after, and again, that's just our first impressions. So I want to dive a little deeper and talk about like without spoilers and stuff like that, the story and plot. And before I throw it back to you guys, I gotta say really quickly, this story for me specifically was very emotional. It was really personal, and I mean, I don't want to get too deep, for the chat. That's kind of personal in my personal life, and it doesn't just impact me. So I can't say much, but this story was very personal to me, to people in my life. It was very emotional. I know that if I took my mom to see this, or if like when she watches this on Disney Plus or whatever, like she's gonna get very emotional. There's things about this movie that was just beautifully written. Like this, it was a beautifully written film. Above it being a superhero film, above it being a Marvel film, I think it was a great story. Like it was, the story itself was just beautifully crafted. Um, I'll throw it right back to you, Josh. What did you think about the story, the plot in the movie overall? What did you feel?
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think, like, this really told the story of a family. And I think that that was the whole point of this. That's what Fantastic Four has always been about. And that they really conveyed that throughout. I mean, I don't think that this is a spoiler, but we know that, Reed brings in the brother and sister to become part of his team. He already has his best friend that's there, and they become a family. And that's something that's super, super important to me because you have the family you're born with, but then you have the family that you make through life. And I mean, y'all know me. I love my friends to death. And there's something unbelievably important to me. And I've got a best friend that I've had for over 30 years right now, and that's how that relationship builds. You're no longer friends, you are family at that point. And that's what this was about. This was about building a family and building a foundation around what that family is. So I love that about what this story was telling. And I mean, you even see that in the movie, how that relates to bigger than even just them. I almost gave away a spoiler, but I didn't.
No, you caught it perfectly. That was a beautiful. Oh, that was chat. He is on one today. He came prepared, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary friends of them. He came prepared. Yeah, beautifully said. Again, beautifully said. The family thing is really what hit for me. And like you said, you have a friend over 20 years. You said
Over about 30 years this year, actually.
about 30
years
years. Like
this year.
I'm
Wow.
32. He has a friend that's almost my lifespan, bro. Like, you feel me? Like, and for me, like that's so impactful because like I have a close friend. His name is Deontay. We call him Tay. Um, I've known him more than half my life, and when I think about that, it's like, man, like first off, I'm 32, man. Like time's flying, but like wow, those are the friends we were literally just talking about this. Like these are the friendships, like friendships that really matter and build a family. Alicia, run it back right to you. What did you think about this story, this plot of this movie?
I agree. I think I love the storyline. I like, despite it being slow in the beginning, I actually really enjoyed it. I liked seeing like the character development. Um I don't know if this is a spoiler. I'm just gonna try really hard not to like say anything, but like I
Gotta
want
be
to like
coy.
especially talk about Sue and like when she stepped into a different role in the movie. I think watching her kind of like develop in that new role, especially toward the end, and like the decisions that she had to make, and like her the sacrifices that she made, her having to like step up and be the voice. I don't know, like that really got to me. It made me
Mhm.
think about my family, made me think about like the relationship I have with certain family members without giving anything away. But I was just like, wow, like I don't know. I just love that like woman empowerment aspect of the movie.
Mhm.
Specifically just surrounded around Sue. Like after it made me like play Sue Storm on Marvel Rivals. Like after.
Oh, you did a really beautiful segue here that I want to add a little bit. It's you hit it on the money with the like women empowerment stuff. I actually had a conversation after this movie with Denise, and I was telling her, I was like, in the comics for history, not now, but it's never really been Sue as the leader. It's usually Reed, but
Mhm.
Sue is like the heart and soul of the team. Like she keeps the family together, right? Like she is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. However, that's being changed. And at first, I was like, I don't know if I like that personally because, which you guys know me, like I like Captain Marvel as the leader of the Avengers. Like that's not what this issue is. But I just feel like there's certain things that should stay the same in a sense, right? Like
Mhm.
this family dynamic, right? But when Denise, me and Denise had a conversation about it, and she hit me with so much like context that I feel like I wasn't thinking about. Like, no, these are the things that need to change. Like women are tired of just being in these roles of like keeping the family together. They
Mhm.
want to
Mhm.
be the leader. And I was like,
Right.
I didn't even think of it in that. And then when I thought back of to your point, no spoilers, but certain scenes and certain parts of the movie, I'm like, glasses got to come off. Like, damn, like it makes me think. Like, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really appreciate what you said there. And I want to segue that a little bit of a sidestep of our, I guess, time scale of the list, but brings me to favorite characters. Like talking about these characters, favorite
Mhm.
characters. Is Sue hit you right back to you? Is Sue your favorite character in this movie?
That's a hard question. Like, I feel like I have a couple favorite. I don't know. I feel like everyone's my favorite. I don't know. Uh, like, yes, because like I don't know. I just love seeing women in their power. And to your point where you said, like I feel like she was still the heart, but also she was still able to get into that leader role as well and like do both. Like, I feel like she did so much, and she like really pushed herself to the max and
Mhm.
Literally, no pun
protect
intended.
everyone. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. So of course, like, yes, but I also really, really, really love The Thing as well. I don't know why, but like I just felt like I don't know. I feel like I got to see a more vulnerable side of The Thing that I didn't get to see in previous Fantastic Fours. Like, he was funny. He also gave like very like, I don't know, like fatherly vibes too.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know.
Oh
So I
yeah.
really liked that. I saw a different side. He wasn't just like funny and like a rock. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the money. You hit it on the money. I had it in my letterbox review. I say this, and I'm going to say this for everybody here now. I have to stand on business when I say this. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm is one of the best performances in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for me. Up there with Angela Bassett in Wakanda Forever, up there with
Mm.
Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark in Endgame. Like her performance as Sue Storm, she did her homework. She came prepared. She was there, man. I can't, but I also gotta highlight. So I'm gonna give y'all mine, and then I gotta ask Bishop. Vanessa Kirby is up there, but I have three. Vanessa Kirby, and then my guy Pedro Pascal. I told people, everybody. First off, the world has turned on Pedro. Everybody hates Pedro out of nowhere now. The internet is literally.
Who's that? Let me find him.
Yeah, I'm like,
Really
who?
add.
It's because it's the DJ Khaled meme. That he's suffering from success. That's really what it is. Like
Yeah. Okay.
he's
That's fair.
He's in
it's
every
because he's
movie,
every movie.
right?
That's the issue. But Pedro, I told people that everybody was skeptical. Oh, I can't see because I can't see past Pedro as Reed, like he's the star,
Mhm.
and I get that. But I told people, I said there's comic iterations. I know maybe you can't get past the look, but he's Reed. I'm telling you, and his performance as Reed, I think is the best performance. And I love Eon Griffin. That's my dog. That's my guy from my 2005 Fantastic Four. But Pedro is the best Reed we've had. He is by far the best Reed we've had. And just the way I mean, I don't want to talk about Sue too much because you hit it on the money with everything about Sue. But with Pedro as Reed for me, we talked about it a little bit off stream, Bishop, but I saw some of myself in Reed, especially there's a scene that is kind of segues, and I'll save this because it segues to my favorite moment. But there's a scene with Sue and with Reed that I don't want to talk about too much because it gives spoilers away. But Reed in that one scene embodies everything to me. Excuse me, Pedro in that one scene embodies everything that Reed is to me. And
Yeah.
I'd seen myself in that. I was like, man, I think like I looked at Denise. I was like, I think like that. Like that's how I am. Like I get him.
Yeah.
I understand. So I empathize with him. And then last thing I want before we pass it to Bishop. I'm a big stickler, man. Not stickler. I guess that's a bad choice of words. I'm a big sap for the CGI character stick. You give me Alien, an animal, a robot, and I'm there. So for me, Herbert, my guy Herbert,
Oh,
Herbie
yeah. He's so
was,
cute.
I mean, you see him, y'all. He was literally one of my favorite characters the whole time. Anytime he popped on screen, it felt like a mixture of like R2D2 and like, I don't know. It's like another thing. Like I don't want to say, I don't know. It'll come back to me. But Bishop, want to pass it to you. Your favorite character, if you have multiple, please let us know.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to pick because again, this is really about the four of them, and I love them all, and I think y'all hit it right on the head. Um, but I gotta say, if I'm gonna narrow it down to one, because I agree with all of you, I agree everything about Pedro. I'm so happy that he's in it. Look back at some designs by Kirby, and that straight up, that's him. It is Pedro Pascal. You look at it, it is him. There's no denying it. So he's a perfect choice. I loved his ability to be this calm, vulnerable, insecure person while being one of the smartest beings in the universe, right? Like that to me is how you sell a character. So he did a phenomenal job. But I gotta say, the ever loving blue-eyed thing was my guy. I mean, he is such a character of the people, to be who he is, to walk through the streets of New York with the confidence that he has to say, yeah, I'm different, but that doesn't make a difference. I am still who I am. I still love the people that I love, and I'm always going to be that person that cares about everybody because I'm going to make the kids happy. They want me to do something to make them happy. I'm going to make them happy. If I'm going to make my family happy, I'm going to make them happy because that's who I am. That's what I want to do. So I relate a lot to that. And I think that that's one of those things that, like, seeing him being portrayed like that, where he was funny, he was a friend, he was, that family member that they all needed, was amazing. And I think that the other thing, the depiction of Johnny in this was so fantastic that it made him so fun to me because he was cool, he was smart, he was powerful, like all of this tied together. So yeah, I mean, it's all four of them for me, but I gotta throw it out to Ben. He's my guy.
He was
Yeah.
the Rock, man. No pun intended.
Yeah.
No, like,
Yeah.
and I think you guys both hit it on the money. Like
Mhm.
he's the friend, he's the big brother or father figure. Like it was really all of that. What I will say, this was one of the things that I wanted more, and that was of Johnny and Ben. And I had some friends in group chats tell me, something that I don't want to give too much of a spoiler. But I mean, the movie, this really isn't a spoiler because the movie is about the Fantastic Four, right? So they told me how I didn't think about how pivotal Johnny's part was into this movie. In if you guys think about what I'm talking about, like know what I'm talking about without
Yeah.
want to be coy. And so I didn't think about that because I was like, man, I needed a little bit more from both Ben and Johnny. And while I still feel that way about Ben, even though we got good amount, because I still think when I think about like kind of how you said Pedro and Jet, like Jet, when you look at Jack Kirby's artwork and then you see Pedro, I feel that way about Ben too. Like it visually CGI amazing, right? But the way that Ebon portrayed Ben, I feel that way too. But I wanted more. Like I needed more of him.
Yeah.
But I want to full circle it, I guess, back to what I was saying. What my favorite moment, I can't say too much, and I guess we really can't talk about all our favorite moments because it's kind of a spoiler.
Yeah.
But with being coy, I will say there is a scene with Reed and Sue where how can I say this? They basically have a conundrum. Let's call it a conundrum.
I like
And,
that. That's a good way to put it.
That's a good way to put it, right? They have a conundrum, and things get very emotional. And I think that was, again, like I said, I seen myself in that moment with Reed. I really, I empathized with both of them. It was, to me, one of the best written scenes in the movie, most emotional scenes. So that'll be my favorite moment there. Pass it back right to you, Bishop. If you could be as coy as ever. What is a favorite moment for you?
I know. Oh man,
I know it's hard,
I'm gonna have to go. I think with the depiction of the threat, um, when we first get to visualize that to me in
Or you can say
this
who it
in
is.
the
I mean, they know.
Oh, okay. We're okay. Listen, hey, you know me. I watched
You know
that
what? I
teaser
appreciate
trailer, and
that.
that's
You know
it,
what? That's
baby.
fair. I
I don't
appreciate
want
that.
anything else. So, but we see the threat, and that to me, like the ability to show that in the way that it was shown, with the way that the effects were done in this movie, and like that's to Marvel's credit to be able to build upon 2008 Iron Man and get to this point with how we do visuals. Yo, I mean, they made Iron Man believable in 2008. They made this believable in 2025. And that I think is a hard thing to do, because there's other iterations of a threat like this that we've seen, and it's not as well done. And so to see that on the screen like this,
He just
I
he just
shot
was shooting.
I shot
He
him.
was just shooting.
Absolutely. Sniped it. I sniped it. So, there you go. But yeah, that's one of the ones for me. The one that you're talking about, absolutely same. I'm right on board with you.
Yeah, I think also ladies and gentlemen, he's talking about Galactus' first appearance on the screen. Just let you know, you guys know he's here. I agree. I agree. That's it. I don't even have anything else to say. Like Galactus was just imposing. I feel like we'll have to like talk about more of the visuals thing too. E, what about you? Favorite moment with being as secret, spoiler free as possible?
Honestly, most of my top favorite moments, I'm not gonna lie, are with Sue Storm. I'll probably say like the one that made me probably emotional and gave me like emotional reaction was like the end, where it kind of seemed like, okay, we're at odds here, like everything we've tried is like,
Okay.
without giving anything away,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she had to like step up and make that decision, whether she knew with that. It's hard to like.
That's
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
perfect.
But y'all know what I mean.
That's
Y'all know what I
perfect.
mean.
Nah,
So
yeah, that was.
seeing that depicted made me emotional, because I relate to that. Because I feel like sometimes I'm in that role, being the only daughter, middle child, only girl. Like I just felt her in that moment, and like, I don't know, like it just really empowered me, and just I don't know. It made me emotional. Like I was like, wow, this is a powerful woman right here. I love Susan.
I mean, you guys both kind of gave me a perfect segue here to talk about Galactus and Sue Storm. I think the visuals on both of them were insane. Matt Shakman, who is the director, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary friends of them. Matt Shakman, who is the director of WandaVision too, by the way, is different. He's there, and he has to be in with Marvel more or less, like for a while. I would say, like, I think what he was able to do. I talked about this with Bishop right as soon as we got out of the movie. One of my nitpicks. I don't want to say nitpick. I guess this is actually a disappointment. Is in they mentioned Shatman mentioned this in like an interview or something, how the IMAX ratio was supposed to change for Galactus. And that didn't happen in the theater in the IMAX theater that me and Bishop went to. We got to see it together also, by the way, chat. And so that was something that I was.
You were there in spirit.
You were there in spirit. Yeah.
I was like, wow, because I don't live in Richmond anymore. Wow.
Yeah, that really would like hurt. But even with that, what Bishop said, like the way they were able to portray Galactus visually, there's a bunch of scenes in this movie that give me Interstellar vibes, or like they were like Shatman was talking about it, the director, like he was looking into Kubrick and 2001 a Space Odyssey, and I've never seen A Space Odyssey, but I've seen the trailer because I did for those that tap into the Jam Pod, I got to interview Emmy writer Ernie Outbacker, who is doing a comic book that's based on like he has references to A Space Odyssey, and it was inspired by that. So it's called Area 51 Studios. It is out, issue 1 on his Kickstarter. Go check that out. But so I'd seen the trailer because I was gonna try to watch it before I interviewed him and get prepped, but I didn't have the time. But seeing the trailer, thinking about Interstellar, and watching these certain scenes that we don't want to give away for the spoilers for those that haven't seen the movie yet, but watching these certain scenes, I mean, I could give scenes. Some of them have been in the trailers. Silver Surfer chase scene. That's all I'll tell you. Scenes like that, visually, I'm like, dude, this is insane. Like, this is, to me, one of the best, visually best Marvel movies I've ever seen. I want to throw that back to you, E. What did you think, visually about, because you talked about Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm. I love the way they portrayed her powers. What do you think about the way Matt Shackman, the director, did these visuals? Did you have anything that stood out to you, or?
I thought it was very appealing. Even honestly, when I first watched the movie, I was like, man, this is slow, but I'm like, at least everything I'm looking at is just so appealing. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed everything. Talking about Galactus, I actually thought that was really cool. I honestly kind of got chills because it's whoa, this is a huge being. It feels like it looks real. I don't know, but I just and then to have, I don't know, see that world and then Galactus come together, I that was just insane. I don't think out of all the Marvel movies I've seen, I don't know, just that was very insane to watch. And it just, I don't know, it just looked very realistic. I thought it was really cool. It made me think if someone like that came to New York City in real life, what would that be? What would that look like? But yeah, I thought visually everything was good, even down to the costumes, and just I don't know, just everything just looks so good. I wanted to be in the world, honestly.
Yeah.
That 60s era, that 60s aesthetic, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You said something that hit me kind of cool with it. Dang, I just lost it. I lost it. We'll throw it right to you, Bishop. What did you think visually of the movie? I mean, you talked about Galactus, but
yeah, it's 3 things. Galactus is definitely one. We've already kind of hit on that. I think the other one, we talked about Sue and her powers, and I think what I loved about that is the thought and the concept of something becoming invisible. And there's the quick and dirty way, which is you just make it disappear, right? And sure, that can be effective, but it doesn't add to it. And we've seen it before where invisibility kind of turns almost to a water-like consistency or transparency. Mm-hmm. And I think that, for what that was, it worked. But again, I felt like there was always more. This was the more. It was what a soap bubble feels like, with all of the refracting light around it, with the even thinking about how she was becoming invisible, it looked like one of those bubbles being filled with smoke, or someone's blowing smoke into it, and then that smoke is dissipating and disappearing. That's how you make something turn invisible. Yeah. I was blown away by how that was done throughout the movie, and I love that. And there's one scene, and I'm having a hard time not giving this one away, but it's in the beginning, where we already said montage, right? We said montage, that's sort of a spoiler. So we already said that. So there's a montage at the beginning, and it did the best for me of showing how Johnny's powers work. And there's one specific scene of how they showed how it worked that blew me away.
Oh, you could say that. I think you could say that one. Because it was in the trailer.
The fire, where he's putting out the fire. Oh, he absorbed the fire. Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Crazy. We've never, we've seen him absorb, but it wasn't like that scale. I hate to use this Gen Z. Is this Gen Z? I guess it's a Gen Z term, but the aura That the aura, bro, was
Yeah.
irradiating aura. Like,
Yeah.
oh man. One thing that I remember what you said, Alicia, that hit it. How
Mhm.
realistic the movie felt, right? For me, it felt like a mixture of like Interstellar, but the realm of like Star Wars, where Star Wars feels real. Like I'm like, oh, I
Mhm.
could go out there. Like that's what it felt
Yeah.
like. I want to backtrack because there was one thing I did want to say that I forgot about in the story part, and this is the only thing I wanted to say. But I think no, I didn't tell you this off stream, Bishop. But talking about like my expectations and things like that. Actually, I'll save this because I can say this in my final thoughts. We'll move right along into talking about the score and like soundtrack and stuff. The music, all of the good vibes of the movie. Um, before I ask you guys how you guys felt, I want to say I think this score is one of the best scores in the MCU. There's so many like this is the best in the MCU, and I don't want to say like that because like it sounds like recency bias, but I genuinely do feel that way after having some time to think about it. Like the visuals, the score, Vanessa Kirby as a Sue Storm, one of the best performances, but specifically the score again, the soundtrack score, whatever you guys like to call it. Um, it hit. There's moments with this is not a spoiler because the baby's in the trailers, but there's moments with the baby where they play certain because the score is like one score, but it's so diverse. It feels like Superman, like John Williams type score. Like it's from
Yeah.
Michael Giacchino, who's also did the Batman, and so he's already known to be on
Mhm.
the up and coming, right? Or he's already there. I don't even want to say up and coming. Like people already know
Yeah.
about him, but this has so many layers of it that they play it throughout the movie, and at every moment, for the most part, it hits for me. Now, the last thing I want to say about this, there is some moments where I feel like it was overused. I didn't need that much, but Denise, again, devil's advocate, helped with my opinion on this. Like she helped give me some perspective, and she said, "But it kept your attention, though, didn't it?" And I was like, "You know what? It fucking did." And I
Yeah.
was like, "You got it." And so I really think that this was some of the best execution of a score of a soundtrack in the MCU. Who did I go? I think E, you said you went last. No, or Bishop, you went last. So we'll go right back to you, Bishop.
Got a Bishop.
So, um, okay, so music to me in movies is unbelievably important, whether that is the score or whether that is a soundtrack. And I think James Gunn has always done an amazing job of bringing a soundtrack into his movie, not just being a background to the movie. And I think
Making it its
that
own character.
this it becomes its own character. Yeah, absolutely. I think that what happened in this movie, I have always had this feeling of the score pulls me into the action. The score pulls me into the story. This, the score was riding along to the story with me and kept me interested in the story as it was going because it had such a build to that. It wasn't like a right into it. And it's that action is going to happen. It is you're not expecting it. The score slowly building, and then it is already riding with you to that point. That I thought that was amazing. It was such a great way to portray a score in a movie without it becoming distracting. But it's still iconic. And there's a really cool little fun little thing that I learned about this today. Y'all know I'm a huge Disney head. The theme song to the original People Mover in Disneyland that is no longer in function, that has the theme song, was in the movie. And that to me was really cool because if you look at the designs for Tomorrowland and the People Mover, the very futuro 1960s kind of aesthetic, and the music for that was like that. So there's a little part in the movie where that theme song is in there. So Easter egg spoiler, I guess, for you with that one. Sorry about that. But yeah.
That's
a
cool.
score spoiler, but not nothing.
You gotta be really that deep to.
Yeah. Something that you just mentioned
take off my mouse ears.
Something that you just mentioned that before we pass it over to Alicia, we guess we didn't really talk about. If you guys want to backtrack slightly with the visuals, is because I know Alicia got to go, so we got to ramp up. But
I was right
Uh, okay, okay. Is in the 1960s aesthetics in the visuals. I mean,
there.
the world that they crafted was
Mhm.
fresh out of the comics. It felt like, or some iterations of the comics,
Yeah.
right? Like it felt like I wanted New York to look like that right now. Like I was like, man, why
Yeah.
does New York look like this, bro?
No,
Like,
seriously.
and at the same time, it felt natural. Like it didn't. Like it
Yeah.
also made me feel like New York could genuinely look like that, right? Like
Yeah.
it was like it felt like the Jetsons almost. I was like,
I was just
Yeah.
about to.
this is the Jetsons.
Yeah.
You took the words right about. I was
You
just
know what
about
I'm
to
saying?
say that.
Like I wanted to highlight that real quick because Bishop brought up the
Yeah.
1960s aesthetic, talking about the sounds and
Mhm.
the score and stuff. But like I just thought about that. But E, what do you think? What you got about the
I
music?
mean,
About the
you literally took the words out of my mouth because I was going to talk about the Jetsons. Because honestly, I agree with you, Bishop. I feel like it wasn't. I'm not gonna lie, like when I'm watching a movie, I know the music is there and it's keeping me invested, but I don't like usually pay much attention to it. I
okay.
just know that it's keeping me invested into the movie, right? But I feel like with this, I just felt like everything flowed so nicely. Like I noticed it, but it was like, I don't know, I felt like everything just the score went perfectly with each scene.
Mhm.
Um and I feel like it did pull me more into that like 1960s Jetson vibe. And I don't know, the music just made me feel like I was in that world. It made me think about like, wow, if I was in New York. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize that it was 1960s for a while. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought it was like current day. It took me a minute to realize.
That I don't know if it is 1960s or if it's just
Yeah, we
that
don't know.
aesthetic. Like they don't really even
Okay,
give
cool,
us a
cool.
date. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
another. That's like oh, I guess that was
That's
a
a really good
spoiler.
point.
That's I guess a
yeah.
spoiler too, though.
Mm.
Is
So
it?
I was confused because I
Really?
was
Yeah.
like, I know Fantastic Four is going to be officially like in the Marvel universe now with these movies, right? So I'm like, wait, where does this fall? So I didn't really know, but I felt like the music was definitely giving me like that 1960s vibes. Even like when the family was together and stuff. I don't know. I just feel like it was just so light, cute, and even when there was like more intense scenes, it was like just the right amount. It was in like OD where in previous Marvel movies it's like super to the max. It's
Yeah.
building up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just felt like perfect, like the
Yeah.
right amount. I don't know, but
I
Yeah.
think you guys hit it on the money. Like I think, but and that's for me what like that's what helped me change my mind. Like what Denise said, because for me it was taking me out a little bit of it. But then she's like, but it kept your attention apart, and I was like, you know what, you're right. Um, what like you guys said about how it was flowing throughout. I think it like was a part of every scene almost. Like the score felt
Mm.
like it was almost in every scene. And like you said, Bishop,
mm,
the build, the build up, it wasn't just oh boom, it's plastered there. Like no, it's like it slowly builds. Like Mash Shackman, man, Mash Shack, he knew what to do with like everything.
yeah.
All right, final thoughts. We gotta hit them with our final thoughts on the movie. And then I would like to know. So Letterbox does the review out of 5. I want to know what you guys have this movie as on a score of 5. So I put out my Letterbox review. It was a 4 out of 5 for me. And no, it's not a pun intended because it's Fantastic Four. No, it's just because that's what it was for me.
Yeah.
Again, there were certain things that I think, like I said earlier, I think this movie could have benefited with pacing issues. I think it could have benefited from another, like, I don't know if I said this earlier. I did say this, I think maybe in my, I don't even know if I said this in my review on Letterboxd, but whatever. I'm saying it now. I think this movie could have benefited from an extra 20 or 30 minutes.
Mhm. I agree.
I think that the pacing, like Alicia mentioned in the beginning, was very slow. During Act 2, it was phenomenal. During Act 3, I also felt like it was a little, I don't want to say slow, but there's things that um could have happened differently or should have happened differently. Not story wise, but pacing wise. And I think because of the pacing, certain things didn't hit like when they were supposed to, emotional beats. While I still feel like this is a very emotional, I mean, talked about it, how personal this movie was for me and emotional this movie was for me. Um, I also feel like, sorry, I just got a notification. Okay. I also feel like there's certain scenes or emotional bits that didn't hit because of the pacing issue. I've talked about certain wanting, certain characters and things like that more. Um, and again, the score for me was one of the issues, but I feel like I'm brought back in. So all of those things, the things that we talked about, and some of my issues are why it's a 4 out of 5. I will also say this: the comic book fan in me gives this movie bonus points, but it also takes some away. And I can't say much without spoilers, but there's certain things with certain characters. There's certain things with not in any of the 4. That's why I can't say anything. No revealing. But there's certain things, and it's not Galactus or the Silver Surfer, as you guys all know that they're in the movie. But it's none of the main cast. I will say that there's certain other things with other characters and depictions that I wasn't enthused with. I can say that. And that's why for me it's at a 4 to 5. I think Alicia, you were just last, so we gonna throw it right back at you. Any final thoughts, and what would you rate this out of 5?
I definitely was already thinking 4 out of 5. Yes, so and it's honestly mainly because like the pacing in the beginning, but also because I felt like you said something in your final thoughts that I resonate with, where this is like I feel like they're like starting over with Fantastic Four. And I felt like, okay, if this is going to be a movie that continues on in Marvel, like I feel like it just needed more to like start it off. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion on it. But I will say, like, because I didn't get to say this earlier, something that I really liked when it comes to Sue Storm is something you said earlier, Josh, with the way they portrayed invisibility. I honestly didn't think about this until like the very end of the movie, but in the first Fantastic Four, where it was Jessica, I think Jessica Alba played Sue Storm. I don't know, but like when she turned invisible, like she was naked for whatever reason, and I just realized, like, wait, this Sue Storm didn't have to go through that, and I don't know why, but I just really appreciated that, like, because I don't feel like now I started to think I was like, wait, why did Jessica Alba as Sue Storm have to be naked every time she like turned invisible? That made no sense.
Yeah.
So I also really appreciated that, and I just felt like. In terms of visuals, it was really good. Storyline, it was amazing. I felt emotional. I feel like I don't usually get emotional when I watch movies or shows. So like, if you take me there, you get brownie points for sure. So yeah, I thought it was great. I would definitely see it again. I'm excited to see like what they come out with in the future. But yeah, those are my final thoughts.
You hit something so real with this Jessica Alba being naked in the old Fantastic Four movies. Like when you go rewatch those movies, they do like certain things from all 2000 movies do not age well, like at all. Like I just watched Happy Gilmore, and like in the happy scene, I guess if anybody hasn't seen that, because I never seen it. Today was my first time seeing it. And so spoiler for Happy Gilmore, but his happy place had a midget in there, and I'm like, and Denise is like, let's go Albius, like, and I'm like, yeah, like things like this don't age well now. Like, so the Jessica Alba thing, while it was maybe fun, I mean, even still, you know me, I'm probably gonna laugh at that. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, but it's not okay. Like, it's not something like, you know what I'm saying, like, even and so yeah, you hit it on the money with that, and we know why they did that. Like, let's be real. They was like, oh, beautiful girl, yeah, she gotta be like, no,
right. That's what I'm thinking now.
And you hit. I'm glad that you kind of highlighted that, because yes, the fact that Vanessa Kirby Sue Storm didn't have to do that and was still probably not even probably to me the best written best character in this movie, like. That says you know what I'm saying, that says a lot of how far we've come in general, you know what I'm saying. Toss it right to you, Bishop. Final thoughts and rating it out of 5.
Yeah. So I'll start with my rating. I'm going to give a very generous 4 out of 5. I agree with y'all. Yeah. I'm giving it a generous. I could go a little bit lower, but this is my butt.
Wait. How low? You gotta be, you know, just
no. It's not much lower. It would be like a 3.8, a 3.5.
Okay.
That's where I was at actually originally, 3.5.
Okay. There you go.
Until I sat with it. But yeah.
And I think that's where I'm at, right? I've sat with it a little bit more. Like you and I talked about, I went into this movie with a different expectation, and that didn't follow through. And I was waiting the entire movie for that follow through. So for me, I took myself out of the movie. So that's 100% my fault. So I had to reflect back on it and be like, okay, I'm watching this movie for what it is. So seeing it a second time, hopefully within this coming week, I want to see it a second time in IMAX again. Because I want to see it at a different IMAX so we can see if we can see that IMAX ratio change
Yes. Let me know
that we're talking about.
let me
For
know.
sure.
Yeah.
Let me know.
So I do feel like it deserves that because the faults that I had with it in my mindset were just my expectation. And this movie is still absolutely fantastic. That was a pun intended. So I think, my final thoughts on this are I love the world building. I love where this is going to go. I think both of y'all kind of hit some really great points on this, which is the comic nerd in me gives tons of bonus points to this. Fantastic Four is one of my favorite books out there. It has been for a long time. And some of these characters are ones that I've seen myself in all of the various different roles throughout the stories and throughout my life. So to see this where it's at here, super important to me to see this on the screen. And I got to say, when we found out that John Krasinski wasn't going to be Reed, I had a little part of me that died because I was like, this is where my cosplay's going. I know exactly if Krasinski's there, I'm doing his Reed Richards. And then he's not there, and we hear Pedro, and I'm just like, okay, well, I love him too. So now I can't be mad. So, I think that's where I'm at. Again, I love where this is going. I love the entire vibe of the movie. I can't wait to see it again, and I can't wait to see where this goes and this takes the MCU.
Couldn't have you segued us into our last topic, y'all. Chat. Our last topic here before I let these guys leave is the future of the MCU. I know, Alicia, you're not like crazy into this stuff as me and Bishop isn't as crazy into this stuff as even I get. But I want to ask. I'll start with you actually this time, Alicia. Run it, but go a little bit of a circle, because you're not as invested, right? What do you want to see, I guess, from the MCU? Because you kind of mentioned like wanting more from this movie, as I did.
Yeah.
The next movie, I think it's between two movies. I can't remember what's next. It's either Avengers Doomsday or Spider-Man Brand New Day. I think Spider-Man. I think it's Brand New Day next, and then Avengers Doomsday. Now we know for the most part, Brand New Day is not going to have any ties into the overarching. I don't want to say it won't, because it might. We don't know, but realistically, it's not going to have that overarching focus of the MCU. So Avengers Doomsday is really like the next big thing. And so Fantastic Four, no spoilers, but Fantastic Four leading into Doomsday. What is it that you want to see from this, like from the Marvel movies?
I don't know exactly what I want to see, but actually, no, that's a lie.
Any characters interacting or things like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think if anything, because I would really like to see how. Well, I don't know if this will actually happen, but how the Spider-Verse with like Miles Morales, like if that world intertwines, I don't know, but that would be cool. Like, I don't know. And then when it comes to this movie and like how it'll play into the MCU, because and we have a group chat, like a Marvel Rivals group chat, and I remember you like posted like comic book clips from Fantastic Four and Doom. And I'm like, wait, so is that going to play out in the MCU? Will I get to see that? Because like that was a very interesting story. So I personally am really excited to see like how, like if that plays out and how it will play out.
You want to see Fantastic Four and Doom interact. That's what you want to see. That's what we all. I mean, everybody wants. It's okay. Everybody wants. Everybody wants to see it. Everybody wants to see it.
Yeah.
Josh,
So
what
yeah,
you got
that's
for
what
us?
I'd say.
Yeah.
I think we've seen from the beginning of the MCU where, the superhero was created with Tony. Now, obviously, we push the timeline, and we know Steve was there, and Captain America is this creation of science as well. The same thing happens with Banner. Same thing happens with Peter, and we get true powers from the Asgardians. That's where but again, that's who they are.
Mm.
This was the first time that this was not a science experiment that went wrong. It was nature that went wrong. And it was
Mm.
something that science couldn't account for. And that is where I want to see this go. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Because if we've got something that is nature bringing powers in, there's nothing more natural than the mutants being next. And I think that this is the
That would be
ability
cool.
to bring that in. We've already started talking about it. We had the Celestials, again, different power set. That's where we get to kind of see this progress. And so now we're pushing the line of what an actual superhuman really truly is. That was something that wasn't created in a lab. So I'm excited about that.
I had not thought about that like at all. I didn't think about like the nature aspect of or like evolution or anything like that. I didn't think of anything regarding the X-Men. But we do know the mutant saga, based off of what Kevin Feige says, is next anyway. So that makes an X-Men is like the after Secret Wars, X-Men is like the next. So I know you guys aren't tapped into these things, but Kevin Feige just did like a variety article where he talks about like a lot of different things, what happened with Captain America 4 and the Marvels and Thunderbolts and even like regardless of if they were good movies or not. And just like he talked about DEI and woke crowd. Like he actually goes into depth about a lot of different things. And one of the things that he mentioned was like, yeah, like we will eventually recast, Tony Stark and Steve Rogers because why wouldn't we? I mean, we just got a new Superman. Amy Pascal is looking to recast James Bond, like so that's just what franchises do. And I think about like the future of the MCU after Secret Wars because like we know Doomsday and Secret Wars is gonna kind of be what Alicia wants to see essentially is the F4 and like the Avengers having to deal with Doom, and potentially maybe like X-Men like from the previous Fox films and like that all stuff and Battle World and all of that, but after what's after? And so Kevin Feige said that the next thing is gonna be the X-Men, and so that is pretty interesting. To your point, like I didn't think about that, Bishop. Bringing that nature aspect in, and that's what's next. It's awesome. I'm glad I got to talk with y'all because y'all just give me different perspectives and different things like that. Before we go, I gotta let the people know where to find y'all on social. That's what y'all gotta have your little headline thing underneath for
Oh
next
yeah.
time y'all have
Yeah.
next time I have y'all on. But I mean, I guess illustrious gaming is. Let's start with you, Alicia. Ladies first. Where do people can find you at, and on what platforms? And good things?
Yes, you can mainly find me playing Rivals when GM decides to play. Because I haven't honestly streamed other than when I'm with GM playing a video game, if I'm being honest. But when I do stream, you can find me at this tag here at Twitch and also on YouTube or TikTok.
You're on illustrious gaming on TikTok too.
Mhm.
You can stream on TikTok. How you stream?
I post my clips on TikTok.
Oh, all right. I was about to say, might have to talk off screen. Hold on. Bishop, where can the good people find it? First off, y'all tell the people what else you do, man. You do a lot of different things, man, and then let them know where to find you.
Yeah, so I do illustration work. I've been working in the illustration industry for quite some time. I do character illustrations for different animation and things like that. I got to work on Spectacular Spider-Man. I got to work on most recently Playdate with Winnie the Pooh. So I'm across the board there with getting to really have some amazing opportunities. and that's going to be Josh Bishop Illustration. You can find me on Instagram there. And then I also do cosplay, a lot of cosplay, and I'm having a blast with that. So that is Grey_Matter. That's Grey, not Gray. Um, and that's on Instagram as well.
Yeah, listen, I've been trying to tell Bishop to do like a YouTube for a very
Please.
long time. Y'all don't understand. Like, I think
I
I
need to
met
get
him in
on
like 2021, and I told him I will do it for him. Like, I will literally record like seriously. Bishop is somebody that you don't see when it comes to cosplay. You don't see this often. One of our friends we were supposed to have on with us, Brandon, also does cosplay like this, but not like Bishop takes it to, he illustrates himself. He does all of the measurements, like he illustrates himself in the cosplay, then crafts it, and then does all the detail fine work, whatever. Like it's from start to finish. And that process, not a lot of people are doing that, y'all. Like that process needs to be shown. So I always recommend checking out Bishop's work. I'm gonna try to have their stuff for YouTube, because it won't be on. You can't do that for Twitch and Twitter X. So on YouTube, I'm gonna have their tag names in the description, so you guys can check out their work after off stream. Other than that, man, I appreciate y'all coming through and chatting with me, man. It was really
Absolutely.
a good time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Yeah,
we gotta do these more often, man.
For sure.
Certain shows, Marvel shows we watch, or even now the DCU is up. So we gotta do these more often. I appreciate everybody that tapped in. No matter, I didn't do an intro this time on the stream, y'all. You know I usually do one of those, but we'll do the outro real quick. Appreciate everybody that tapped in, no matter what platform you are tapped in on. You got to meet Bishop and Alicia Illustrious Gaming. Bishop, Grey Matter, or Josh Bishop Illustrations. And again, I'm gonna have their tags in the thing. But whatever platform you are on, whether that is Twitch, Twitter/X, or YouTube, if you are on YouTube, show love to the podcast. Episode 10 will be dropping this Sunday. And I have to announce, this is a kind of like a spoiler thing, but me and Bishop have something dropping on Sunday.
Ooh,
yeah, we have something.
I don't even know.
Yeah, nobody knows for real, besides like close people, But well, let me not say close people, because at least you're close. So that was a bad choice of words. But you know what I was trying to say. But yeah, me and Josh got something dropping Sunday. I can't wait for everybody to see. Podcast episode on Superman and Fantastic Four, episode 10 will be dropping as well that same day. Kind of like a good all together thing. And if you are on Twitter or Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it, I do a lot of tweeting, man, or posting. I just share my thoughts, letterbox reviews, all that good stuff. And last but not least, my Twitch family, my day ones, where I started this stream stuff at. I really appreciate you guys. I am a Twitch affiliate, so I always recommend subscribing if you have Amazon Prime. On a web browser, link your Amazon Prime to Twitch. You can subscribe to your man's jam for free. You ain't got to worry about no ads, and you get my sub-only emotes. Last but not least, I got to let you guys know I'm doing a giveaway right now. Once I hit 10 subs on Twitch, I will be buying one lucky subscriber a game of their choice. Same thing on Twitter/X, 500 followers, and then YouTube once I hit 100 subs. So tap in. Make sure y'all follow my friends here, because they are great at what they do. And we'll see y'all next time. One last thing, because I know these guys are ready to get out and I'm going on a tangent. But I broke my daily stream rule. Yesterday, I went to go see Fantastic Four with Bishop, and so I couldn't stream. I was at 23 days of streaming daily straight. Was going for 30. We didn't hit it, but today is going to be a new start. So let's see how many days I can get. I will see y'all tomorrow. It's Saturday, so I'm going to be on for a bit. Y'all have a great night. I will see y'all next time. Y'all too, stay on for a quick second, because it's going to end, and then I'll end with y'all. Y'all be easy.
Right.
Peace. Now.